By the time you've crossed the threshold of 60, life has taught you that not everyone you counted on will be there. Sometimes it's not because they didn't love you. It's because they couldn't show up in the way you needed. People have their own battles, their own distractions, and sometimes their own limitations. It can feel heartbreaking at first, but here's the quiet freedom that comes with age. You begin to realize that your life, your joy, and your peace were never meant to be held hostage by someone else's availability. You're allowed to build your own foundation, one that doesn't crumble when others step away. By the time you've crossed the threshold of 60, you've had a front row seat to the unpredictable theater of human relationships. People you thought would always be there sometimes aren't, and not always because they don't care. Sometimes because life pulled them in a direction where they couldn't walk alongside you anymore. That realization can hit like a quiet ache, the kind that lingers not because it's unbearable, but because it whispers, things aren't the way they used to be. It's in this season of life that you begin to understand something deeply. Dependence on people isn't wrong, but exclusive dependence is fragile. We all need connection. We are wired for it. But the painful truth is that putting your entire sense of safety, happiness, and stability in the hands of others is like building your house on sand. It feels solid until the tide comes in. At 60 plus, you've already been through enough storms to recognize patterns. You've seen how friends drift, families grow busy, partners may not always understand, and sometimes the very people you've been there for cannot or will not return the same in your hour of need. This isn't about bitterness, it's about clarity. Life has its way of teaching us that love does not always mean presence, and absence does not always mean rejection. And so the question becomes, if I can't always depend on others, who or what can I build my life upon? That's when the quiet shift happens. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you from loneliness, to validate your worth, or to fill the empty spaces of your life. You begin to take ownership of your own emotional survival. This is not about isolation. It's about self-sufficiency. It's about knowing that while relationships are a gift, they should never be the only lifeline you have. The truth is, at this stage of life, peace comes not from holding on tightly to others, but from holding yourself steady enough that you can appreciate them when they're here and remain unshaken when they're not. Because the reality is people will come and go, but you are the one constant in your own life. And building a foundation that doesn't collapse when others step away, that is the truest form of freedom you will ever know. If there's one relationship that will outlast every friendship, every romance, every job, and every season of your life, it's the one you have with yourself. The problem is, for decades, many of us treated that relationship as an afterthought. We poured our time, energy, and love into everyone else, leaving ourselves with the leftovers, if anything at all. But here's the unshakable truth. You are the only person who is guaranteed to be with you from your first breath to your last. At 60 plus, you've lived through enough to see that people may change, circumstances may shift, and your role in others' lives may evolve. But you never stop being you. And if you're going to depend on anyone for stability, safety, and peace, it has to start with you. Depending on yourself isn't about becoming cold or detached. It's about learning to trust yourself the way you've trusted others. Think about it. You've walked through heartbreak and still found a reason to get up the next morning. You've endured disappointments, illnesses, financial struggles, and loss, and you're still here. Every scar on your heart is proof of your resilience, and every gray hair is a testament to your wisdom. You are not weak because you've been hurt. You are strong because you've kept going. Building a dependable relationship with yourself means keeping the promises you make to you. If you tell yourself you'll take a walk in the morning, honor that commitment. If you decide to start a new project, follow through. These aren't just tasks, they're deposits into the bank account of self-trust. And just like money in the bank, the more you invest, the more secure you feel. It also means speaking to yourself with the same kindness you've shown others. We are often quick to comfort a friend who makes a mistake, but merciless with ourselves when we fall short. If you wouldn't say it to someone you love, don't say it to yourself. You've earned the right to be your own ally, not your own critic. Here's the thing, when your relationship with yourself is strong, you stop chasing validation from others. You stop bending yourself into shapes that don't fit just to be accepted. You stop waiting for someone else to make you feel worthy because you already know you are. And the peace that comes with that, unshakable. So at this stage of life, if you're going to lean on anyone, lean on the one person who has proven time and time again that they won't give up on you. When you're younger, it's easy to believe your body will always cooperate. You can push it, neglect it, stay up too late, skip meals, carry stress like a badge of honor, and still wake up the next day ready to go. But by the time you're 60 plus, your body starts to remind you that it's been working for you for a very long time. And like anything that's been in service for decades, it needs care, attention, and respect. Here's the truth: your health is the foundation that holds up everything else in your life. Without it, joy is harder to feel, relationships are harder to nurture, and dreams are harder to chase. Money, status, possessions, they mean very little if your body is too worn down to enjoy them. The older you get, the more you realize that health is not just part of your wealth, it is your wealth. Depending on your health doesn't mean living in fear of every ache or pain. It means making it a daily priority, the same way you would protect your home or your savings. At this stage in life, you can't afford to treat your health like an afterthought. Every choice you make, from what you eat to how much you move to how you rest, is either a deposit into your long-term independence or a withdrawal from it. Think about it. Your body has carried you through 60 tough years of work, love, loss, laughter, and change. It's been your constant companion in every moment of your life. It deserves to be honored, not just used. And the beauty of taking care of your health at this stage is that even small changes make a difference. A daily walk can lift your mood. Drinking enough water can boost your energy. Cutting back on sugar can improve your sleep. The little things add up. And let's not forget, health isn't only physical. Your mental and emotional health are just as vital. Stress, resentment, and unresolved pain can take a toll on your body just as much as poor diet or lack of movement. That means self-care isn't selfish, it's survival. Protect your peace as fiercely as you protect your heartbeat. You may not be able to control everything about aging, but you can control how you treat yourself through it. Every healthy choice you make now is a gift to your future self, a future where you're able to move without pain, travel without exhaustion, and live without depending on others for your basic needs. Because in the end, your health is the key to your freedom. And freedom at any age is priceless. One of the most overlooked treasures of reaching 60 fuff is the library you've built inside yourself, the wisdom that comes only from living, from seeing, from trying, from failing, and from getting back up again. This isn't something you can buy. It isn't something you can learn from a book alone. It's earned 1 year at a time, one hard lesson at a time, one brave decision at a time. And yet, so many people at this stage still doubt themselves. They hesitate. They second-guess their choices. They let the voices of others drown out their own, as if those other voices could possibly know better what's right for them. But here's the truth. You've already survived what you once thought would break you. That's not just experience. That's proof you can trust yourself. Wisdom is more than knowledge. It's knowledge that has been tested in the real world. You've faced heartbreak and found love again. You've lost jobs and built new paths. You've watched dreams fall apart only to discover better dreams you never imagined. Every single one of those moments has left you with insight that's uniquely yours. Depending on your wisdom means looking at new challenges and remembering, I've seen storms before, and I found my way through. It means trusting that even if you don't have all the answers, you have the ability to figure things out. And when the noise of the world gets loud, when younger voices try to tell you you're out of touch, you can smile, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence, knowing that the view from where you stand is something they simply haven't lived long enough to see. Your experience is a compass. It may not tell you exactly where the road will twist and turn, but it will always point you toward the right direction for you. Sometimes it means walking away from situations that don't serve you because you've learned the cost of staying too long. Sometimes it means taking a risk because you remember the times you did and how they paid off in ways fear could never have imagined. And let's be clear, this isn't about thinking you know everything. True wisdom carries humility. You've lived long enough to know you'll never have all the answers, but you'll always have the courage to keep learning. That balance, confidence and humility, is what makes your wisdom powerful. At this stage in life, your wisdom is your security. It's the net that will catch you when plans fail. It's the voice that tells you when to be patient and when to take action. And it's the reason you no longer have to live in constant fear of the unknown because, no matter what happens, you have what it takes to face it. So depend on your wisdom. Let it guide you. Let it steady you. And most importantly, let it remind you that you are not starting from scratch. You are standing on decades of lessons that make you unshakable. When the noise of life quiets and you're left alone with your thoughts, there's one question that matters more than most. What do I truly believe in? By the time you reach 60 plus, you've seen enough to know that life can change in an instant. People you counted on can leave. Careers you worked decades to build can end. Health can shift. Plans can fall apart. And in those moments, when the ground feels unsteady, you need something deeper than circumstances to hold on to. That's where faith or your core beliefs come in. Faith is not just about religion. It's about the anchor that keeps you grounded when storms hit. It's the quiet strength that whispers, there's a purpose to this, even if I can't see it yet. It's the compass that keeps you moving forward when the road ahead is dark. For some, that faith is spiritual. For others, it's a deeply personal set of values, principles, and truths they've built their life upon. Depending on your faith means deciding what will guide you before life tests you. Because when the crisis comes, and it will, you won't have the clarity to build your foundation then. You'll need it ready. You'll need it strong. Your beliefs give you a frame of reference, a way to interpret life's chaos without being crushed by it. When someone betrays you, your faith might remind you that forgiveness frees you, not them. When a door closes, your core beliefs might tell you that life has a way of rerouting you to something better. When you feel afraid, they might remind you that you've walked through fear before and still found your footing. And here's the thing, faith is deeply personal. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It's not about how it appears to the outside world. It's about how it holds you up on the inside. It's the private conversation you have with yourself in the quiet moments. It's the conviction that something in you is unshakable, even when everything around you is moving. At this stage in life, leaning on your faith or core beliefs isn't just about surviving, it's about finding meaning. It's what transforms a setback into a lesson, a delay into preparation, and a loss into a new kind of strength. It's the reason you can keep your heart open after disappointment, keep trying after failure, and keep hoping when the odds say you shouldn't. So nurture your faith, protect it, challenge it when you need to, because a faith that has been tested becomes stronger. Let it be the anchor that keeps you steady the light that helps you see, and the fire that keeps you moving forward. Because everything else in life can shift, but when you know what you believe in, you'll always have solid ground to stand on. One of the quietest traps people fall into, especially later in life, is believing that joy is something that has to come to them. We wait for the phone to ring, for family to visit, for friends to invite us out, for someone else to decide we're worth celebrating. And when those moments don't happen as often as we'd like, we start to believe joy is slipping away from us. But here's the truth. Joy isn't something you wait for. It's something you make. It's not a delivery that shows up when someone else decides to send it. It's a garden you plant yourself, water yourself, and harvest yourself. And the older you get, the more you realize that waiting for other people to bring you happiness is the fastest way to grow resentful, lonely, or bitter. At 60 POV, you've lived long enough to know that life can be both beautiful and unpredictable. The people you love can't always be there exactly when you want them. The world doesn't always bend to your timing. But that doesn't mean you can't create pockets of joy every single day. You can, and you must. Creating your own joy can be simple. Wake up early and watch the sunrise with a cup of tea. Turn on music you love and dance in the kitchen. Plant flowers, even if they're just in a pot on the balcony. Learn something new, not because you need it for work, but because it makes you feel alive. Cook your favorite meal.